All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as you can see, I'm riding solo. I do have the 49ers v. Minnesota Viking game here on my phone because my big head-ass tablet doesn't want to cooperate. So I have to watch all of your comments over here on the tablet. And then I got my trusty S10 Plus over here. That's a shot to all you Y-phone users out there. I got my S10 Plus. You know, I'm a little salty, though, because even as much as I love this S10 Plus, I really wanted to get it. I should have waited and got the Note 10. I'll wait. I'll probably end up waiting until like the Note 11 comes out. And then when the Note 11 is about as big as my hand times 2, then I want to be that guy that's walking around all of wherever I'll be at the time the Note 11 comes out, and to just have a big ass phone in my hand watching all the sports as I'm going. That's what's going to happen. But what's going on, guys? This is the Mack and Black podcast. I am El Oso Negro. Telling you, man, them white phones are garbage. I don't know how you guys walk around with white phones. Not iPhones, Y phones. Garbage. I think like the cool thing about the Y phone is that I get to FaceTime my friends. I can do that with the S10 with Google Duo. You get the same results. You know what I'm saying? Like I see all the modes. Like there's an Apple store in Naperville out here by where I live. And I just see like 1,200 modes just in the Apple store, wondering why. Why can't I pair my earphone, my iPods with my iPad or whatever the F, dude? Who cares? Who cares? Oh, hey, speaking of which, I'm glad that he's on right now. Steven, what's going on, bro? I want to show you some love here real quick because before I go and start talking sports, you know, I like to have a little goofy moment from a time-to-time basis. And the reason why I'm glad that you're on is because, so Steven and I are in this group, and someone asked, what is the first question that you ask when you go out on a date? And Steven put out what is arguably the best answer out of all of them is, why don't you just go out and have fun and just let the questions flow? And I think that was the greatest response. You want to know why I thought that was the greatest response? This is real easy. Because I'm with you on that. Like me, I'm a sucker for arcades. I've always been a sucker for arcades. Like I'll give you a quick story. Many years ago, I went out with this girl that I met at a Bar Louie in Bolingbrook. We ended up going to GameWorks. We were playing Outrun 2. And I'm out there just being Drift King, DK, all over Outrun 2, right? So I'm sitting there drifting, and she might have been like maybe 10 to 15 seconds behind me, right? Because she couldn't catch up. So as the race is about to be over with, I'm like, I should really hit the brakes and let her win, you know, to kind of boost up her confidence. And so like the angel on my left shoulder was like, yeah, man, go ahead, let her win. But the devil on my right shoulder was like, you better keep your foot on that gas and keep on winning. And as soon as I was finna listen to the angel, I had already passed the finish line. And then, like, to make it even worse, she kind of got pissed. She's like, you should have let me win. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of thought about it. But what do I look like letting somebody win? You a full grown-ass woman. Shoot. Better come out here and figure this out yourself. What the hell? So, hey, though, man, look, we got a great show going on here today. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of things to bring up. You know what I'm saying? I'm Steven. I'm glad you're on, too, because you and I are both Rangers fans, and I have been paying attention to a lot of hockey, not just so much New York Rangers hockey, even though we're kind of, creeping up slowly but surely in that wild card 2 playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. But, I mean, there's been a lot of firings that's been happening in the NHL as of late. Sweet Mamacita, the Predators fired Peter Laviolette the other day. And we all know that Mike Babcock was out in Toronto. We know that Calgary fired their coach because of some racist comments that came out of his mouth. We know Dallas fired their coach and now he checked himself into rehab because I guess he's a drunk. I guess that's the word on the street. But over the last couple of days, we've seen the Igor Shesterkin show. And I will admit that I am somewhat impressed, And I'm watching the game on Monday against Colorado. And is it Steve Milbury? Whatever. This guy's a complete idiot. I don't know if you watched the game, but at one point in this game, Milbury actually says, "Well, I don't know. Shesterkin looks a little nervous out there." It's his first NHL game, genius. Of course he's going to be nervous. What the I'm like, you guys get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to give me that? Idiot. Everyone makes fun of Burger McFarland for what comes out of his mouth. Sweet Mamacita, it can't be no better what comes out of Pierre Maguire and Milbury's idiot-ass mouths. Idiots. Both of them morons. So we'll get into that. We're at halftime right now. It's 14-10. San Francisco is beating Minnesota. Jimmy Garoppolo has a touchdown pass. Kirk Cousins has a touchdown pass. I feel like literally an hour ago, they were just promoting the game that was going to start, and here we are at 4:30. Or what time is it right now? Almost 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, with the sun just beaming down out there in San Francisco or in Santa Clara, because Lord knows it's cold as hell and it's snowing out here in the Chicagoland area. You know what I'm saying? Like, people out here really trying to get scared of the snow. As a guy who does DoorDash on the side, this looks like money to me. Shoot, it could rain, ice, hail, all that crap all it wants to, but it's gloomy out here today. But in a sunny, beautiful, Santa Clara, the 49ers right now have a 14-10 lead. If I was the 49ers, though, I'd be doing my damnedest to try and separate that lead just a little bit. Steven says Mike Milbury, he's a douche. Yeah, he is, dude. He's a complete idiot. Completed, especially when it comes to the Rangers. I don't know what these guys have so against New York sometimes. Like, we all know they love Sidney Crosby. I mean, they love this idiot to death. I mean, don't get me wrong. The man's a former MVP. He's got, 2 or 3 cups, blah, blah, blah. We get it. But you would have thought Sidney Crosby was the next best thing since sliced bread, the way those two idiots talk. But yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, man. The Rangers youth movement, in my opinion, is going the way it's supposed to, is only if the Rangers fans have enough patience for it to happen. Because look at it like this. By them bringing up Shesterkin, it pretty much guaranteed that Alexander Georgiev is pretty much out in New York. And it's nothing against Georgiev or anything he's done. It's just unfortunate that you have the King, who has an $8.5 million cap hit and a full no trade clause, and the man has already said he's not leaving New York. So if he's not going to leave New York, then you can't trade him. He's not going to leave. And I think he's got 3 years left in his contract. Shesterkin has already said that he would rather learn under, I just lost my top there. He would rather learn under, what's his name? Lundqvist. So if you're going to learn under Lundqvist and Igor is the future, for as good as Georgiev is, you got to get rid of him. And on top of that, I think you put up a story, Steven, about him getting traded to San Jose for defensive men. If that defensive man that was in that report you put up maybe 2 weeks ago was if he's a first defensive man, I'm for it. I feel like the Rangers have a lot of offensive first defensive men, which is fine, but we don't have any defensive first guys to pair with it. Like, if you go back to the glory days when we were always in the conference finals and we made it to the Stanley Cup finals one year, think about it. We had a great mix. Like, you had Dan Girardi that was defensive minded but could put the puck in the back of the net. You had Mark Stahl, a much younger Mark Stahl, that could do the same thing. Then you traded for Keith Yandel, who kind of matched up perfectly with Ryan McDonough before they traded him, because McDonough was kind of the defensive first kind of guy. Yandel was an offensive first kind of guy. So it all made sense. But Trouba, Adam Fox, what's the other one? Tony D'Angelo. They're all offensive minded guys. We don't really have any defensive minded guys. So if you're going to trade him if you're going to trade Georgiev for a defensive man, I'm all for it. Because if you don't trade Georgiev now, you're going to lose him to the expansion draft that I think happens next year when Seattle comes to the NHL. So the Rangers have some things to do, but now was the great time to bring up Shesterkin. Now you know what you got in him, and you need to build up. First of all, we need to fire Lindy Ruff because he's total crap, first off. Second off, we need to get some defense so you can get that even pairing. So it's like, yeah, I like Tony D'Angelo. I like him putting pucks in the back of the net. I don't like it when he leaves the goalies hanging. I forget what game they had before they beat Colorado. Not Vancouver. I think it was one before that. I think it was Calgary or something. It was just terrible. Just leaving Georgiev out there to dry, and he's just giving up goals left and right. So you might as well sell high while the stock on him is still up there. That's what I think. Steven says Georgiev is part of that draft list next year, unprotected for that new team coming in, and it's Toronto reporting trading too. Whatever. Hey, again, if we're getting defense out of that, our defensive man first, defensive-minded first, defensive man, I'm all for it. Because Shesterkin is the future of New York. He is. You can always go out there and find you a backup goalie. Don't get me wrong, I like Georgiev, but Seattle is going to draft him in the, in the expansion draft. So you got to get something for him or you're just going to lose him for nothing. And Georgiev is a really good goalie. He is. Just call it what it is. So, I think offensively the Rangers are straight. I think them keep dropping Kakko to the fourth line is stupid. I understand why, but I still think it's dumb. Kind of the style that David Quinn plays, the whole dump into the zone to get things set up. It doesn't really fit Kakko's style. I think Kakko, he's still 19. You know what I'm saying? He's still 19. So you can't give up. Like in no way, shape, or form is any Rangers fans calling him a bust, but it kind of sucks that he's only scored like one goal in the last, 15 games or something crazy like that. So, it's worth being brought up. It's definitely worth being brought up. And let me tell you this, too. While I'm still talking hockey before I get back into football, I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticed this, but, man, I have not heard much talking from the Chicago Blackhawks fans as of late. I was thinking about this yesterday when I was in the car DoorDash driving. I was always in the car yesterday thinking what am I going to say, how I'm going to talk, what points I want to bring up, and that hit me right in the face. When the Blackhawks was winning all the Stanley Cups and everything, you knew when they won, when they lost, when they was on a winning streak, this goal, that save, this save, Corey Crawford, Taser, Kaner, all them lame-ass nicknames that the Blackhawks give their guys. You heard all of it. You don't hear that now. That's not out there anymore. I have yet to hear a play-by-play goal, no goal, we suck, we're doing good analyst from these Blackhawk fans, which lets me know that the rumor that a lot of these Blackhawk fans just joined the bandwagon while they were winning might be ringing true. And I'm still on the one, everyone was crying out the wazoo when they fired Joe Quenneville. Oh, how can you fire Coach Q? You shouldn't have fired Coach Q. Dude, Coach Q lost the locker room. Coach Q lost the locker room the day you got swept by the same Nashville Predators that you've been whooping their asses for the last 4 years prior to the sweep. Now you're going to tell me all of a sudden Peter Lavoyette, who was the coach at the time, has figured y'all out? Please. You've been on the downhill since. You went from Stanley Cup champ to Western Conference to swept out of the first round to one of the most horrible starts you've had in years. Coach Q had to go. I'm not saying Stan Bowman doesn't deserve any of the blame, but man, you got to get rid of Q. You just got to. It's not like the Florida Panthers right now are barn burners down there in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. So, lot of crazy stuff in hockey, though. You know, with the All-Star game coming out, I don't know if you guys seen the All-Star jerseys from the NHL. Dude, those things are awful. Awful. You're just going to give me some black and white jerseys with the logos on the front? Really? That's the best you could have done? Can't be no worse than what's his name? My bad, I dropped my top. Dana White spending $50,000 for that lame-ass BMF title that Jorge Masvidal has right now. That title's lame as balls. Lame. The game is now out of halftime, and San Francisco's going to get the ball here. They're up 14-10. Pretty quick first half, to say the least, by both teams. You know, they were asking a question like, of all the quarterbacks in the playoffs, who's the one that you trust the least? And Jimmy Garoppolo's name came out of all of them, which is warranted. Yes, the 49ers themselves have had a great season, but technically, Jimmy G is not playoff tested. Rodgers is playoff tested. How about the Detroit Red Wings? Or about the you talking about as far as the Facebook, like, putting out there, we're good, we're not good? Yeah, dude, they're the same way. But, you know, the Red Wings have been good for a very long time. Even before the Blackhawks went on their run, they've been going good for a long time. I think they made a mistake by letting Mike Babcock go, because Mike Babcock kind of was like the engine that made that team go. And they haven't really been the same since. I know they're still kind of going through rebuilding mode and whatever, but I don't know. Sometimes a coach, when you have something in place, sometimes, you know, I mean, think about it. How many times did they make the playoffs? And I know they had like a 20-plus year streak of making the playoffs. Mike Babcock's responsible for a lot of those. He was. You know? And so, like, it's like at the end of the day, you know, it's like, well, we want somebody new while we're rebuilding. I mean, I don't know, dude. But I haven't heard any Red Wing nonsense either. And the Rangers come to town in mid-February. You know I'm at that game. I'm trying to go to that. You know, whether you like hockey, you don't like hockey, one of the things that you have to do, you have to watch a hockey game live. It's crazy. It's crazy. Even if you think hockey's boring, you have to go watch a game. It's amazing. It really is. It really is. So, well, there goes Jimmy G, play action passing. Oh, nice play there. Minnesota playing a little defense out there. Like, hey, you know, we got 2 other games that's going on. We got 3 other games, as a matter of fact. One's later on tonight. That's the Ravens taking on the Titans. That should be interesting. The one team that I did want to talk about, I know I'm kind of flip-flopping sports, just talking with you guys and then watching the game right here. I was thinking to myself, I want to say it was Sunday. You know what? Was it Sunday? It would have been Sunday after the Titans won their football game. I think the most dangerous team in this playoffs are the Kansas City Chiefs. I really do believe this. Follow me on this one, okay? Do you remember that 2006 Indianapolis Colts team? Okay. Do you remember was it 2006? I think it was either 2006 or 2008. Whichever team the Indianapolis Colts beat the Chicago Bears in. I think it was 2006. Go back and kind of relive that season. Them first 9 weeks of that season, boy, that Indianapolis Colts defense was total garbage. Garbage. And the only real reason why it was so bad was because they didn't have Bob Sanders. Bob Sanders, who's as great as a safety as he was notoriously hurt. He was forever hurt. But from that point on, from the remainder of the season, I think he got healthy. And not only did he get healthy, I think he won Defensive Player of the Year that year. Because I think he missed 2 games. And in those 2 games, boy, that defense, they were awful. But once Sanders got healthy and a couple of other guys got healthy, that's with Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis. And I think Booger McFarland had made his way on that team after, Tampa let him go, salary cap cut and all that nonsense. Oh, what was I saying? My fault, guys. I lost my track. Oh, they went on a streak. That was the year they finally beat the New England Patriots. That's when Bill Belichick went for it on 4th and 3 at their own 40 with like 2 minutes to go, but Indianapolis had no timeouts. So if New England converts that 4th down, Peyton Manning still hasn't beaten Tom Brady quite yet. And finally he did. And it led him to the Super Bowl. That's what these Chiefs remind me of. Because in first about 5, 6, 7 weeks of the season, that defense wasn't that great. And then also Patrick Mahomes goes down with the ankle injury. But now that he's gotten a little bit healthy, that defense has they played so much better. And I know I'm going to give my pick a little bit later on, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way in hell the Houston Texans are beating Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs tomorrow. There is no way. There's no way. Like, that game's at 10. I know the Texans beat the Chiefs earlier in the year. They didn't play this Chiefs defense at this level. There's no way in hell. Just no way. Because, dude, to me, and I hate to say this, the Houston Texans are overrated as hell. You can't tell me nothing. Like, I love how the Bears fans are like, see, told you we should have went ahead and drafted Deshaun Watson. This Mitchell Trubisky sucks. And our Bucks fans are this way too. Oh, everyone complains about the offensive line, but look, Deshaun Watson has no time, blah, blah, blah. Overrated as balls. You can't tell me nothing. You gonna tell me you were really that impressed with the way he played on Saturday last week? Because I wasn't. Because if Josh Allen, and I'm gonna give Josh Allen a whole pass. It's his first playoffs. He's never been there before, and he made some very rookie playoff passes that let Houston get back into the game the way they did. If Josh Allen made at least 2 of those passes, we're talking about the Bills playing the Chiefs, let alone the Texans playing the Chiefs. This team is not that good. Sorry. I will be the most unpopular guy to go ahead and say that. I do not buy the Houston Texans at all. And I hope the Kansas City Chiefs steamroll these idiots so that we can finally figure out and come to a realization that Houston just ain't that great. They're not. You can't tell me nothing. 49ers just kick a field goal. They're now up 17-10. You can't tell me nothing. I don't think they're that good. I don't. I really don't. My boy Robert says, I'm glad the Hawks are losing their bandwagon fans. I maybe can afford to go to a damn game again. I'm with you on that, man. I hear you on that, man. Them Hawks ticket prices when they was up and winning, God bless, dude. It's like $200 to sit in the 300 seats. And let me tell you what, I would rather sit higher than sit lower. When I went and saw them play the Rangers the last year that Rick Nash was on the New York Rangers, I paid $150 to sit 3 rows up from the glass, and I'm not going to front to you. I kind of didn't like it because I sat where the Rangers shot twice to Corey Crawford, but I could barely see the other side. I'd rather sit up. I remember the year that we went to the Eastern Conference Finals, the Rangers shut out the Blackhawks in overtime. It was a 0-0 shutout, and we shut them out. And I had actually bought a ticket, center ice 300 off StubHub for 30. It was like $60. And the only reason why I didn't sit there is because my buddy Bobo the Great came, and we just went in the standing room only. But yeah, dude, I'd rather sit high up. I'd rather sit in the 300s. I'd rather sit in the 300s where you can see all the action than sit like so low where like you can only see half the glass because you're looking through the benches. I don't like that. I didn't like those seats. Hey, anybody that's watching the show, man, share us out, man. Be sure to check us out on iTunes, Spotify. Hold on, I got all the stuff right here. Google Play and any other place for your podcast. We also launched our new website so you can watch or listen to past episodes. You can find all the podcast icons on the homepage and subscribe. Is that on PodRiver.com, Steve?
Yeah, that's Mack and Black. MackandBlack.com.
Oh, it's MackandBlack.com. Okay, that's what I posted on my Facebook. All right, just make sure.
Perfect.
Let's make sure. Usually Mac does these, so I'm a little rusty on the reads. Oh man, 49ers right now up 17-10 on Minnesota. Why do I have a weird feeling Minnesota's gonna come back and try and win this game? Steve says trade Mac to the Bucks, make it happen. I mean, we'll see, man. The Bucks are gonna have to give up a fortune for that, man, and they find themselves in such a predicament right now. They really do. But I don't know what they're gonna do right now. I mean, my thing is, we'll just have to see what happens with after the college football national championship is Monday, and I don't know. Like you really haven't heard any rumblings with what any team is going to do as far as free agency wise. You really haven't heard anything. So I don't know what they're going to do. I haven't heard if they're going to. I know Adam Schefter reported, the week before the Atlanta game that there was a great chance Jameis would be back. Now, the way Bruce Arians was talking after the Atlanta game, you never know. You just don't know. You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what's in his mind. So we'll have to look out and see. And then you got you got Seattle taking on Green Bay. That's going to be a good game too. The only thing that's scary about that game is Seattle has no running backs. Like no offense though, Marshawn Lynch ain't necessarily in that great of shape. It just happens to be a guy that can run that's big, hard to bring down, and knows the offense. That's all Marshawn Lynch is. That's all he really is. That's all he is. So, I'm thinking like Green Bay should win that football game. But, Russell Wilson's a crafty dude. If Green Bay's defense can show up, which, I mean, their defense has played better than I thought they was going to, then, they can go kind of far. But, if that defense doesn't show up and you let Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf, who seems to be the forgotten gem in last year's draft, I don't know why everybody was so scared to draft DK Metcalf. Now this man is coming into his own. Man was like, what's the man, like 6'4", and there's an interception by Kirk Cousins to Richard Sherman, trying to force it in there to Adam Thielen. But there is a flag on the play, however. So let's see what that flag is. We'll see if that interception is going to stick. I don't know. The way that Kirk Cousins is looking like it ain't going to stick. And the 49ers are already doing their little celebration in the end zone. Yeah, man. DK Metcalf, what's due like 6'4", 230, something crazy like that? Man, 6'4", 230 was running like 4.40s, and this man fell all the way to the third, fourth round for whatever reason. Steven says the NFL means National Fix League. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would necessarily call it fix. Like the referees, I mean, if you want to call it fix, I mean, the referees couldn't help Tom Brady out last week against Tennessee. I wonder if this is going to be a crackback block on San Francisco because one of the linemen on Minnesota is down still. So I wonder if that's going to be a crackback block, but we'll check that and see. I don't know, man. That's definitely what it was. It was an illegal crackback block, it looks like. Yeah, on Nick Bosa. So the interception is going to stick, but San Francisco gets the ball, so we'll see how that works. We'll see what they do with that. 17-10 with about 9:40 left in the third quarter. San Francisco has a 7-point lead. And then you got tonight's game, Tennessee versus Baltimore. I wouldn't sleep on the Titans, but man, Baltimore's just playing such great football. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to stack the box to stop Derrick Henry, and they're going to dare Ryan Tannehill to throw. But, at the same time, the way I see it is that's kind of dangerous too, because it's not like Ryan Tannehill hasn't been throwing the ball great this year. And plus, with A.J. Brown just emerging out of nowhere, that's dangerous, But can Tennessee contain Lamar Jackson for 12 weeks? No one's been able to. The man's a borderline MVP. It's a borderline MVP. So, I want to give a shout out to, once again, to Mariano's for being arguably the greatest grocery store that ever hit God's green earth. I know, Steve, when you text me wondering when I was at, I told you I was 10 minutes away. That's where I was at. I was at Mariano's getting something to eat. Why? Because Mariano's is the greatest grocery store ever. Yes, can they be a little pricey? Of course. But do you know you're going to eat great quality food from a great quality grocery store? Most definitely. And if I wasn't doing this strict 30-day keto diet featuring Tim Tebow and ketogenics and all this nonsense and, everything that comes with it, hey, I tell you what, I'd be in that piece eating sandwiches every day. Every day. And if I was Jewel, or if I were like Fresh Time or Pete's Market or any of these other places, you should take a page out of Mariano's book. Do you know what I saw at Mariano's earlier today that I have yet to ever see at Jewel? A guy coming to the Heart Bar to check to make sure that the quality of that food was good enough to sell to customers. Thank you, Mariano's. That's all I ask from Jewel that's right by my job. Do they do that? Hell no. It doesn't take Helen Keller could sit there and tell you that those mashed potatoes hasn't even been turned for the last 5 to 10 minutes. Not even longer than that. I'd even go 2 to 4 hours. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Not even a little bit. So you got a guy out there, Mariano's, that actually cares about his job and the quality of food, making sure that the mashed potatoes come out there, they're fresh, rotated. That's what I likes to see. That's why I will put Mariano's on to the day I die. I will forever put Mariano's on. Forever. Mariano should let us sponsor this, you sponsor this show. Shameless plug. San Francisco's still moving right now. Boy, this team is dangerous too, though, by the way. Steven says the football player landed on Wentz. Head got up, no suspension from the league. I think a lot of that hit, though. I know you're talking about Jadeveon Clowney. I think the NFL was thinking like, no offense, but they felt like that was a football play, and maybe if Carson Wentz learned how to slide, that wouldn't have happened. No offense to everybody, but you can't keep wussing up the NFL. You can't. Now, I'm not saying, this is what I don't like. I don't like when people are like, well, I remember back in my heyday when I was watching the NFL, give me a guy, Ronnie Lott, one of the greatest safeties to ever play the game, tore his quad muscle in the second, put some mud and wraps on it, and he was back out there in the field by the third and put on one of the greatest performances. The game's not like that anymore. I remember back in the heydays when that not trained lane would go around and just clobber the quarterback. Like, he'd come out there, he was 370 pounds of man, and he would just hit this guy, and you could damn near see his neck split from his body. The game ain't like that anymore. But you can't fully wussify it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when the whole concussion nonsense was kicking off. I was a security guard at the Sony in where I live at in Bolingbrook, right? And nice run there. San Francisco is knocking on the door. They are knocking on the door. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and lie. I just lost my train of thought. I just lost my train of thought of what that was, what I was going to say. It'll come back in my head.
You were a security guard at the Sony place.
Where was I at before that? I got distracted by this game. That's exactly what I'm saying, dude. I got distracted by that. Damn. It'll hit me in my head. But still, man. Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. When this whole concussion nonsense, I was a security guard at Plano. I was talking to one of the super hot secretaries that was in there. And she was like, yeah, that's why my son will never play football because he's got a lot of concussions. So he'll just play soccer. You know you can get concussions in soccer too, Pippin? Excuse me, ma'am. These guys are using their heads to hit a fully inflated soccer ball at 20 miles an hour. You don't think that's not going to hurt? Come on, man. These guys are running at like 25 miles an hour, gets tripped up, or let's say if 3 guys jump in the air from the same ball, somebody's going to get hurt. Like, come on, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah, my son's not going to play because, football's such a ruthless sport. Yeah, okay. It ain't as ruthless as it used to be, but don't think you're going to put unless your kid is playing badminton, your kid is going to get hurt. He going to get hurt. If he play baseball, he going to get hurt. If he playing basketball, he might catch an elbow, he going to get hurt. If he playing hockey, he going to get hurt. If he playing soccer, he going to get hurt. He going to get hurt. Shoot, don't do that. Don't sit there and be like, oh, soccer is a less barbaric sport. Shoot. These guys have been having knee injuries for years in soccer and can't get back to where they were. It's like that in every sport you're going to play. So don't do that. You can't say that. That's nonsense. That's total nonsense. They sure did. Came at me with that. Hey, I don't want my son to get a concussion. The NFL is just figuring it out. I don't do that. Yeah, but that Jadeveon Clowney hit, that was clean hit. That's on Carson Wentz. And I love how the Philadelphia fans are something like, we maybe never should have let that Nick Foles go. You mean the same Philadelphia Eagles are talking about how Nick Foles was worth 2 1s and 2 2s after he won the Super Bowl? The man is a backup. He couldn't keep his job over Gardner Minshew. You got to be kidding me, right? All of a sudden, the Eagles are like, damn, we sure could have used that Nick Foles. And Carson Wentz, had a pretty decent year. As a matter of fact, the year he got hurt, when the Eagles did won the Super Bowl, he should have been the MVP. He should have been. He wasn't been, but he should have been. But don't sit there and be like, oh, just because you had to use Josh McCown. Like, you don't account for somebody getting hurt, though. And Carson Wentz was healthy all season long, minus that hit, which was of his own doing. So don't do that. That's probably going to be my line for 2020. Don't do that. I'm in this group called the World of Sports. It's an awesome group. They do these things called Champ of the Week and Bum of the Week. This week, the Bum of the Week was Roy Williams because Roy Williams went out and said that this was the least gifted basketball team that he has ever coached. And everyone is in their feelings that Roy Williams basically said that the North Carolina Tar Heels flipping suck. Now, I know some of that is on Roy Williams, but how can you tell the legendary Roy Williams he needs to coach better? How about the players play better? Like Roy Williams probably sitting there like, man, I've ran the same 15 plays. Like Herman Boone and Remember the Titans ran the same 10 offensive plays. This man ran the same 15 plays and has won multiple national championships, has been to multiple Final Fours, has had great North Carolina teams, and you're going to tell me that you mad because he called these collection of stiffs the most least gifted team? That should be a shot in their ass to come out there and play better. How about that? That's not bum-worthy. Stop. At what age do we stop coddling kids? At what age? Especially when it comes to sports. At what age? Because if I can't make fun of them on this show while they're in college, they might as well give up now. Because the road gets a whole lot tougher as the time goes on. Think about that for a second. You think you getting clowned by your own head coach, it should be the least of your problems. I couldn't believe that when I read it. They was mad at Roy Williams because this man said that this was the most least. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? The least gifted team he has ever coached at North Carolina. And that's saying a lot because North Carolina has always been good. Always been good. And you said this is the least gifted. That means that man got so mad at your sorry asses for not being able to play. He told y'all suck in the most country white boy way you can think of by saying you the least gifted. Because most coaches would have been like, my team sucks. But because, Roy Williams, one of them Southern Bells, he said, nah, we just, the talent just ain't there right now. He said y'all suck. So step your game up. Roy Williams, I got a newfound respect for Roy Williams now. Always want to say something on social media, because you want to save face. Man, you done lost your mind. Saving face. Maybe you should coach better. I don't understand how you could tell the great Roy Williams to coach better. It's Roy Williams. It's not like it's, some average Joe Blow off the streets. It's Roy Williams. Oh, man. That was funny, though. We'll see how North Carolina responds. Because obviously, if you have anything resembling a soul, you would have been like, damn, man, I can't believe Coach called us out. Maybe we shouldn't go out there and play like total ass. How about that? Just something to think about. Remember to share out the show. I always appreciate when you guys share out the show. I ain't gonna lie, guys, like in my head, I had an itinerary of what I was gonna talk about. And now I'm just gonna free flow. I'm going to free flow this show. I got a lot of things that's on my mind. Outside of politics. I don't talk politics. I'm just not that smart. I'll be the first to tell you. Like, I'm no political science. I'm no political scientist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. When Mack comes back, we'll have to sit and talk. But, pretty soon we're going to be doing, we'll do spring training, man. We'll go through all of Major League Baseball. As a matter of fact, speaking of baseball, I saw something where I guess it's been floating around about what they're going to do with this whole DH. And I guess they're saying that now the DH in baseball will last for as long as your starting pitcher lasts. So let's say if your starting pitcher goes a complete game, the DH has to stay in. The way it made it sound like is you can substitute out your DH when you're able, when your starting pitcher comes out, either you can keep it or the pitcher takes its spot. Now, that's where I don't like the rule, because if a pitcher has a bad day, let's say I give you a prime example. If you remember a game against Tampa and the Yankees where the Yankees knocked out Blake Snell, if Tampa Bay's DH bats 6th or 7th and it's a 1-2-3 inning and Blake Snell's out there getting rocked, now you done lost your DH. He can't even play. Look, there's a whole easy fix to this nonsense. And that is for the National League to stop being idiots and conduct or induct the DH. It's time. Why do you have pitchers going up to bat? That's not baseball. No matter what anybody tries to tell you, that is not baseball. American League is baseball. It's time to bring in the universal DH. We got to stop playing about that. We do. We got to stop playing about it. You see a pitcher go up there swing at 3 pitches that you aren't even close. Those are just free strikeouts. And then, like Cub fans used to always complain and argue. They'd be like, yeah, well, that's where some of our offense is. That's where, some of our team is. That's where. If you're concerned about 2 at-bats from your starting pitcher, you got bigger fish to fry. Like, as a matter of fact, if you haven't followed him on Facebook, Mack has been all over the Chicago White Sox day off season. They've been all over it. I have never seen White Sox fans so happy in my life. But the White Sox have put together a really decent baseball team. They really have. They like I've been telling Mac, they haven't made like the sexiest moves, or they didn't make like the more what's the word I'm looking for? How would I put it? Not sexy move, but they're not like the Garrett Cole move or the Rendon move. It's not the major move. It's just moves that help out the Chicago White Sox for where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Like they needed a starting pitcher, so you go get Dallas Keuchel. They needed an outfielder, so you get that Nomar Mazara, and then they went on and got Edwin Encarnacion so they could have someone to play DH. Then you needed a catcher, so you go and get Yasmani Grandal, and then, I thought they should have went on and got Dellin Betances, not let the Mets get him. But that's another conversation for another day. It's another convo for another day. It really is. But looks like Minnesota mopped a punt. Did San Francisco get this back? Looks like they may have. Let's take a look and see. That ball definitely touched and went through his hands, so there's no denying that. I'm drinking a sparkling ice water. The flavor is ginger lime. There's absolutely no sugar in this. It's just a refreshing drink of antioxidants and vitamins. That's all it is. It's actually rather refreshing. Because once again, it's cold out in these parts today. It's cold. And it's snowing. I did DoorDash yesterday. It was raining like hell. I got them sympathy tips. That's what I'm trying to do today. You get them sympathy tips. I remember I worked at a place called Fat Ricky's in Romeoville, and in the Super Bowl the year that Seattle mollywopped the Denver Broncos, it snowed that day. And a lot of the guys that was driving cars, they couldn't maneuver in the snow because they were only, 2-wheel drive. Giacomo is a all-wheel drive car. So I was just slamming back and forth out of them snowbanks. Long story short, I made $300 that night. And then because they canceled school, I worked that Monday. I worked all of lunch and the majority of dinner, and I made $250 the next night. I made like 30 deliveries throughout the day. It was juking. But you know, the kids were in school. The parents got to eat. They ain't trying to leave the crib. That's why delivery service is out there. That's why it's out there. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, Art Van Furniture is now doing all that. If it snows, you pay for it. Boy, I know they was mad as hell that year because it blizzard that year. Blizzard City. Shoot, ain't no denying that. So we'll see how it is this year. But, man, all them 50-degree days is gone with. I think that's over for the next couple months. Facts. It's still 24-10. The 49ers are winning. They're kind of beating up a little bit on Minnesota. Minnesota learning hard and quick that this ain't the New Orleans Saints. And the New Orleans Saints losing on Sunday further lets me know that Tampa Bay need to make the right moves, because I feel like the grip on the NFC South is really starting to loosen up. My only thing is like, no offense to anybody. I think I mentioned this last week, but I don't understand all the hype behind Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater reminds me a lot of do you remember, was it Matt Flynn? Remember the guy that was in Green Bay, had that huge game against the Lions in the last week of the season, signed a 6-year, $57 million contract to go to Seattle, and never played a snap because he got beat out by Russell Wilson. And that's what I feel like this team is. Or, I mean, that's who I think Teddy Bridgewater is. He's just another Matt Flynn. And it's like, oh, Nick, you went 5-0. Yeah, dude, the Saints defense was playing really well. Freaking Latavius Murray was taking all of the rushing load off of Alvin Kamara. All he needed to do was catch balls out of the backfield. I just don't understand the hype. Like, I remember when Teddy Bridgewater came out of Louisville, everyone said he was the most pro-ready quarterback because he played under, maybe it was Bobby Petrino at the time. And then he went to Minnesota, had one year, and then totally tore his knee up in practice during the offseason. And then he kind of rehabbed, went to the New York Jets, and he was so great on the New York Jets that and won the starting job that they traded him to New Orleans. Teddy Bridgewater is okay. He's not a guy that I'm going out there to spend all my hard-earned cash on to bring him to wherever he's going to go. Because there's a lot of Bears fans that are chomping at the bit at getting a new quarterback, and I personally think it's a mistake. I really do. I think Mitch can become a good quarterback. You just got to keep faith in him. Like, you can't recycle everybody when you don't give people time to grow. You can't. And unfortunately, these guys are not getting time to grow. They're not. They're not at all. And you know, you can't sit there and be, oh, well, you know, Mitch sucks, and look at Mahomes. He went to the AFC title game and almost beat the Patriots, blah, blah, blah. And then you turn around and you look at Deshaun overrated-ass Watson. Oh, you know, Deshaun looks so great. Why do we have Mitch? I would rather have Deshaun. Stupid, dude. We got to get rid of him. I swear to God, I had somebody call up on on Chicago Sports Radio and said trade for the great Taysom Hill. He didn't want that backup quarterback. He wanted the gimmick quarterback. Come on, man. Come on. You can't be serious. I wish some of you guys were out here in Chicago so you can hear some. I know there's TuneIn app and radio app and all them other apps, but I wish y'all could hear some of this stuff. Yeah, we got James on the line. James, what's going on?
Yeah, man. I'm doing great. It's pretty cold out here.
Yeah, so what's on your mind?
Well, I was thinking about Mitch and his quarterback situation, and yeah, Mitch sucks. So I was wondering if there's any way that we can trade maybe a third-round draft pick to the Saints for Taysom Hill.
And then you get like this little pause. And then it's, all right, we're going to go ahead back to the phone line. Then I hung up on your dumb ass for saying something stupid. Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's thrown like 8 passes his entire NFL career. I'm telling you, man, y'all got to listen to some of this stuff on radio. It is pure gold, especially with the Bears situation.
Yeah, we got Rick on the phone. Rick,
what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Rick, so what's going on?
Well, I was thinking about this Matt Nagy situation, and yeah, I think we need to fire him because Matt Nagy sucks, and maybe we can go out there and get Urban Meyer, and then maybe we could see if Mike Martz wants to.
Like, come on, dude, stop it. The Bears had one down season, because basically first of all, the Bears don't have another wide receiver. Anthony Miller only played 3 good games. Now it's week 13, 14, and 15. I can tell you straight up because I picked him up thinking he would do something, that he was ass against the Chiefs in week 16. Straight up drizzling doo-doo. They need another wide receiver to complement Allen Robinson. It's like you got Allen Robinson, but then now who else do you got? Because what's the name ain't going to work out. Trey Burton, he hasn't really worked out. He can't even stay on the field. That's why if I was the Washington Redskins, this is a no-brainer. I'm trying to find me a tight end at some point to replace Jordan Reed. Everyone's talking about how good Jordan Reed is. This man can't play 3 games without himself getting hurt. It is 27-10 49ers. Thanks, Steve. I saw that. I'm just on a tangent right now. I swear, dude, I love sports talk radio. I really do. Because some of the clucks come out there. Guys, yeah, I've been watching the NFL for 25 years, and I'll tell you what, I'll let you know when you can see talent you can't. And I just don't really – what am I doing?
I don't really see this really working out with Mitchell Trubisky because, he's really not that good. And, I was wondering if we could –
like, dude, relax. Relax. Unbelievable. It's so funny to me. Sports talk radio is just so funny. It really is. All right. Let's see what happens here. Do the San Francisco 49ers have one of the best front fours in football? Look at that. Cousins trying to get away. Got sacked. Nick Bosa. Go figure, right? And now Nick Bosa's down. He's hurt. Unbelievable. Hey, thanks to everyone that's watching right now. I appreciate y'all. And everyone that was watching, I appreciate y'all. Coming here and hanging out with a brother for a little bit. Tell me your thoughts. What's on your mind. Talked a little football, what's going on. I can't wait for draft, dude. As a matter of fact, before I get into draft talk, I did see where I guess there is maybe a proposal where it's going to be 17 weeks of football, 3 weeks of preseason, and 2 bye weeks. I still say if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, don't let these big head fans tell you, oh, the preseason is useless. Why do we get this? Are the same guys who will go out and want to watch a college football game between Idaho and Colorado State. There is nobody in this free world that doesn't live in Idaho or doesn't live in Colorado State territory that wants to watch Idaho versus Colorado State. Nobody. Like, could you imagine, like, your boys came out like, hey, dog, we gonna go to the club trying to get some girls, man. Like, why don't you come with me? Nah, man. I gotta watch this Idaho, Colorado State, game, man. I've been missing football that much that, oh, my God, give me a break. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't think the NFL needs to fix it. That's just like I've been hearing a lot about this nonsense with the NBA about doing this whole first they're talking about doing the reseedings, just do a 1 through 16 league. And if that's the case, then why have conferences? Everyone's so upset because you're going to have teams like, let's say if 2 teams from the West have winning records but missed out on the 8th spot, but then you have 2 teams in the East that have losing records but made the 7th and 8th spots. Everyone's like, well, that's not fair to the Western Conference team. Yeah, it is. How about you play better next time to move up and get a playoff spot? What are we going to do? We're just going to sit here and baby this? Nonsense. Nonsense. Not feeling that. You need to keep it the way it is. And then all of a sudden, it's all this talks about, I guess they're going to do a mid-season tournament. You don't need to do that. You don't. And people are like, well, Nick, the ratings are down in the NBA. Because the league is watered down, bruh. It's watered down. The Washington Wizards, outside of John Wall and Bradley Beal, the average NBA fan couldn't name me 4 other guys that's on that team. To my face. Hell, the Wizards are so bad, maybe many people wouldn't figure that out. Who knows? Oh, and my Steven says 33 teams in the NHL next year. Steven, is that adding on the Seattle team, right? Answer that for me. I think it's the Seattle team that comes in because the NHL already has 32? They already have 32. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I've been watching a lot of hockey as of late, man. Hockey is a fun sport. Just people don't give it a chance. People won't give it a chance because people are like, oh, my God, hockey is so boring. Oh, my God, hockey is really not that boring. People are like, soccer is so boring. They shoot into that big. You know how much skill it is to kick that soccer ball in there like that? That stuff's not for everybody. It's really not. So, you can call hockey boring all you want. I know I watch. As a matter of fact, I think the Rangers play tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, I'm finna check right now. I think the Rangers play tonight. Not only do I think the Rangers play tonight, but I think the Rangers are going for 3. People say that because they don't understand the sport. Oh, yeah, do easily. Like people are like, well, I go to hockey games to watch the fights. Huh? I can go to a fight to watch a fight. That's not why I'm watching hockey. To see people throw down? No, I'm trying to see my team win. That's nonsense. It's crazy. But it's what it is. I think hockey is a fun sport. I hope the Rangers win their third in a row. I seen a friend of mine earlier today put up a year ago that she changed from Ranger roots to Islander roots. Tell me I went back to my Islander roots. You crazy as hell. Don't do that. Don't do that. How you go backwards? It's like going backwards in life. How do you go backwards? Oh, that's right. The Rangers play the Blues. The Stanley Cup champs. You know, I was talking about all this defensive men, and I totally forgot about Brady Shea. I don't know what. I know why he popped in my head right now. Because we drafted Brady Shea before Vladimir Tarasenko. And the Blues fans will never let us live that down. Matter of fact, some Ranger fans won't let Ranger fans live that down. Freaking good old Brady Shea. But he's another one. He's offensive minded. The Rangers have so many offensive minded and not defensive minded defensemen. You get you a couple of defensive minded defensemen, dude, it's over. Maybe all this nonsense of having guys like Georgiev and Lundqvist and Shesterkin see 40 shots in a given game. That's crazy. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think the Rangers are on the right track. You know, I'm starting to really warm up to David Quinn as coach. I think he's a really good coach. Lindy Ruff has to go. He sucks. But I think David Quinn's a good coach. We got JD, the team president. I know the Rangers are going to be a little bit stuck with the whatever it's called, the God bless, the cap, the salary cap. They're going to be a little pressed. What? I think the Rangers are in good shape. I really do. I think they're in good shape. Thank you for everyone that's joining in right now. I appreciate you guys keeping a brother a little bit of company here. You know, I'm like kind of doing like half Mack and Black and half the Bear Cave because I'm just talking about anything and everything right now. I really am. I mean, it's 27-10. San Francisco's winning. We got another game later on tonight between Baltimore and Tennessee. You know, we got some things going on. I talked about Mariano's being the greatest store ever. They're the best grocery store ever. And I'm always will be a fan of the Peoria Meat Market Place out west on Lake Street as the greatest meat market ever. They also had a chance to get Nicholas Backstrom before this turnover we had. The money, like the Mets, they did not sign him. Yeah, I read about that too. Oh, it was right here. Stupid. I read that too, Steven, but I thought that Trouba trade was genius, though. And a lot for what the Rangers did, I felt was a lot with Minnesota when they signed, was it Zach Parise and I always forget the second guy. The Minnesota Wild made a couple of big-time signings, I remember some time ago. And Angelina, what's going on? And it really worked out for them, and I always felt that what was I gonna say? Oh, I always felt like those two big moves were awesome. Like, here's the thing with New York. There's all this talk about the Rangers wanting to trade Chris Kreider because I think he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. And here's my thing. Like, I want Chris to stay, but damn, dude, I would have thought that Chris Kreider would have had at least a 40 to 50 goal season the way that he plays hockey, and he doesn't, dude. Like, I don't know if it's the system. Like, there was always forever the talks about him going to Boston because he's a BC guy. But I'm like, damn, dude, like, can you put in more work? Like, he be having those days where this man is unstoppable. Like, you can't stop him. I feel like Chris Kreider's biggest enemy is himself. That man has all the tools. That man has, and up and down goes Kirk Cousins again. Looks like that's DeForest Buckner and Nick Bosa on that one. Yeah, dude. Minnesota not being able to do anything right now. I mean, San Francisco is just so dangerous, dude. They're so dangerous. Because if you don't have an offensive line, let me ask you this. I wonder how many people in the NFL right now are wishing that Seattle beats Green Bay. If Chris Kreider wanted to stay, the Rangers organization would have offered him money. I agree with that statement. But they're always trying to trade him, though. I think a little bit of it that they can't afford him, and I think a lot of it is because he's had so much talent but hasn't really put it all together. And Chris Kreider's been on this team, what now, 6-7 years maybe? If it isn't that long, it's felt like it's that long, I don't know, man. Oh, yeah, by the way, and I still will swear up and down that Egg Life wraps are still the greatest egg white flour wraps ever. Let me throw that in there, too. I mean, if you guys want to talk about anything that's listed on the show, I mean, dude, feel free to shoot me a message, bro. I'm willing to talk about anything. I usually, like Mack and I would usually talk MMA because Conor McGregor's fighting next week. I still think Conor McGregor, in my personal opinion, is still the most overrated fighter in all the UFC. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. He is He is the most overrated fighter in the entire UFC. And I can't be convinced otherwise. I think that what makes Conor McGregor so good is his mouth. That's it. Seattle is not beating Green Bay in Green Bay. Hey, man, crazier things than happen. Angelina says that she doesn't want that to happen either. Crazier things have happened. If San Francisco come out here and beat Minnesota, I bet you the NFL is wishing on their high horse that Seattle somehow beats Green Bay. You want to know why? It's all about storylines. And how do you attract a storyline to your product? So in the NFL, you're going to have San Francisco versus Seattle, part trace, all the marbles on the line. The winner, a trip to the Super Bowl. The loser goes home. You trying to tell me the NFL ratings wouldn't boom off of something like that? Because the last time San Francisco and Green Bay played, Green Bay got their asses whipped all over up and down on what was that, Sunday night? You gonna tell me the NFL ain't looking forward today? I think they are. Angelina says, look like you're losing a lot of weight. Congratulations. I appreciate that. You aren't the only one that's noticed that. Steve said something before we went on air. My friend Melissa said something last week, but she was hating on my Yankees hat. I look a whole lot skinnier once I get this beard off my face, which should be happening in the next 2-3 days. I guarantee you that. like I know that there are some guys out there that like thrive off of growing beards, but like I've been growing a beard since I was like 16. I'm 36. So that means for 20 years I've had to deal with this thing on my face. I just prefer it to be gone. I like a nice little goatee, As a matter of fact, I really want to DoorDash tonight with the weather being as crappy as it is because it's good money, because I need to go get glasses. There's times when I will put on like a real nice fit and then them glasses set off the whole fit. You be out there killing them. As soon as you put those glasses on, you're like, ooh, I'm finna kill them out there tonight. You be having a newfound confidence. So if you go out with a fresh fade, a fresh beard trimming, glasses, and a fit, and the glasses to accent the fit, I'll be talking to girls I would have had no chance with on a good day. I'll be like, hey girl, how you doing? Whatever. Okay, fine. Okay, I'll take the L. Not with that last combination. I'm like, baby man, stop playing. You figure something out as time goes on, but you got a newfound confidence though. So I appreciate it, man. Like, yeah, man, the keto diet's working. Like, my thing is the scale sometimes will and won't tell you, if the weight fluctuates and, I don't know. I think scales are dumb sometimes. All it is, I put on a pair of jeans for the first time in months the other day, and I had to tighten my belt because they wouldn't stay on my behind. That's a great sign. I just got to up my gym game. That's all. I mean, I go, but I don't feel like I go enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I don't go enough. So that's going to change coming up here soon. If you guys are just joining us, we kind of been all over the place. We talked a little football. I said the Chiefs should mollywop the Texans because I think the Houston Texans are the most overrated team in this playoffs right now. I'm not on the Deshaun Watson hype train like everybody else is. And I just got a notification from DoorDash saying that it's busy. Steve, is it snowing like hell out there? Because if it is,
let me look.
That's not snow, brother. That is bread falling from the skies.
It's snowing, but it's not as much as it was supposed to, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet? Okay.
Nope.
Because I just got a notification that DoorDash is desperate for drivers in Naperville, Bolingbrook. So, but my DoorDash area is usually Oak Brook and Lombard, though. Because I like to hang out where the Cheesecake Factory is. Oh, I'm so glad I brought that up. Okay, bear with me here, right? So I was at Maggiano's picking up an order yesterday. This lady comes in and says that she had ordered catering food from that Maggiano's on New Year's Eve to celebrate her husband's birthday or something like that. And she was tripping. She was like, oh, it just didn't taste good, and the chicken was dry, and they didn't give me enough sauce, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, why did you wait 10 days after to complain? The only reason why she was in there because she had bought a whole gang of gift cards, apparently, and they were using them. And like in the back of my head, like I was kind of tripping. I'd have been like, if I ordered some food and it was bad, I would have. If I didn't call that night, I would have called the next day. I'm not gonna wait 10 days later and be like, oh yeah, on New Year's Eve your food flipping blue. Steve says 2011, 2012, Chris Kreider started with the Rangers. And what are we at now, 2020? So it'll be going on 8 years. And in 8 years, I feel like, this man has crazy speed on the ice, can handle the puck well. He just, for whatever reason, can't put it together. I don't get it. I don't get it. It is so frustrating sometimes. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. But I like the direction the Rangers are going in. Artemi Panarin is probably one of the best Ranger scorers that we're going to have since what, Rick Nash? I'm all about that life because I'm sick and tired of looking at these Islander fans trying to flex. I'm sick of them. You got Islander fans trying to flex. You got Devils fans that are trying to flex on us. They the last team that should ever try to flex on the Rangers. Your team blows. I know during the Brodeur days you won 3 cups. Congratulations. Since Brodeur, you guys suck. You sitting here trying to put the Rangers on blast because of how much you suck. Pimping. Come on, man. Ridiculous. Yeah, dude, I see all kinds of stuff at these restaurants. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. But hey, I love it, man. I ain't gonna front. I love it. I love doing this though. I just love sitting there and talking. One of these days, guys, we're gonna master the art of this phone system. And once we master the art, I get you guys call in. Like, yeah. Okay, looks like we got a Ray. Ray's calling from well, since this show is on Facebook, it could be from anywhere in the United States. Right? All right, looks like we got Ray from North Carolina. Ray, what's going on?
Yeah, hey, what's up, fellas? What's going on, fellas?
Word? Okay, hold on. I'll entertain that here in a sec.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Chicago Cubs.
Like, okay, yeah, man, what's wrong with them?
Yeah, I think we're gonna suck.
Dude, hey, I can't even mock this. Am I the only one that feels the Cubs are really gonna blow next year? I think this team's gonna suck. I really do. Because I think a lot of these guys have one foot out the door. And you better hope to God that David Ross can somehow that the Cubs can catch lightning in the bottle the way that the Yankees did with Aaron Boone. Because first off, Chris Bryant ain't coming back. And then if I heard correctly, is Anthony Rizzo a free agent too? Let the Cubs suck. Especially with the Yankees that could use a first baseman right now. I would give so much money to Anthony Rizzo with that swing in right field at Yankee Stadium. Man, they hit 50. It wouldn't even have to try. I'm telling you, dude, the White Sox are the new Chicago baseball team. And as much as Cub fans aren't going to want to admit it, they are the new baseball team. They are. The only thing that's going to suck now about the White Sox being good, it's going to be hard to get tickets. Because if Rick Renteria really gets this team going, it's going to be hard to get them tickets. Or they're going to be kind of expensive. You know, we done got, I say we, but, as a guy that really likes going to White Sox games, I'll be the first to tell you that it was a whole lot of fun being able to go to games for the cheap and still have a what you call it, have a fun time, and not have to break my bank doing it, and easy access in and out of the park. Angelina says Holly. Yeah, she's a White Sox fan. I'm just calling it like it is. I think the White Sox are the new team to watch in Chicago. I don't think the Cubs are it. I think the Cubs right now have so many issues. I thought he caught it. I'm going to say, what a catch by Stephon Diggs. Hey, guys, this whole time that I've been talking to you guys, it is now almost 2:29 left in the fourth quarter of this game, and San Francisco's pretty much on their way of winning this game. Either that tells you how much fun I've been having with you guys for the last, God bless, has it really been 90 minutes I've been doing this show? Man, time flies when you're having fun. Remember that. But I really think the White Sox got something going. The only thing the White Sox didn't do that I really wish they would have was sign Dellin Betances. I think they would have signed Dellin Betances because if you really look at the AL Central, it's up in the air. Like, who really has faith that the Minnesota Twins are going to repeat what they did last year? I don't. The Royals suck, the Tigers suck, and the Indians have kind of more or less waved the white flag. You traded Bauer last year. You trade Kluber this year. I mean, I really think the Central is the White Sox almost to lose if they can get it all together. That's why I think the most pressure on the White Sox this year is on Renteria. I really do. I think it's Renteria. Because you don't want to get replaced. I mean, it happened in Chicago or with the Cubs on the north side where you kind of had the guys going in the right direction and boom, they fired you so they could bring in an established Joe Madden. Well, don't give the White Sox a reason to fire you to bring in another established coach or manager. I really think the White Sox can win 90 games this year. It'd be good enough to win the Central at least. You know, Chicago don't want to hear that because, you know, the Cubs have kind of been, you know, the Yankees to the Mets are what the Cubs are to the White Sox. It's big brother to little brother. You know what I'm saying? It's big bro, little bro. Out here, the Cubs are big bro, the White Sox are little bro. But I think the White Sox right now are the better team. They really are. And I'll be keeping my eye on them all year long. Especially when they play us, because you ain't beating the Yankees. But I sure the hell hope y'all have big-time success coming in this year because I think the White Sox are due. You know, and they got so much young talent. You know, we talked about them signing Robert the other day or last week. You know, Eloy Jimenez, Tim Anderson's the batting champ. You signed Yasmani Grandal. You bring in, what's his name, Edwin to DH. Sounds like a decent squad to me. Now, again, it's up to Rick Renteria to put it all together. That's what I think. The 49ers are on their way to be in Minnesota, so they'll still be at home next week since they are the number one seed. The question is who they're going to play. I still think that Seattle, I still think that the NFL storyline that you want is Seattle versus Seattle versus San Francisco. You wanted Seattle versus San Francisco, Kansas City versus Baltimore. Those are the matchups you want for if you're the NFL for ratings and money grab. Because with the AFC, Baltimore and Kansas City played earlier this year. And Kansas City is one of the two losses that Baltimore has. So what storyline do you get out of that? The revenge. Seattle, San Francisco, part trace. All the marbles on the line. No good guy, bad guy. That's what Arn Anderson told Doom when they wrestled at Halloween Havoc. Because Doom was heels, Ric Flair and what's the name was heel. I just dropped it again. What's the name was heels. They were heels. No good guy, bad guy. It's the same thing I feel about that's gonna be part trace. So that's gonna be interesting too. All interesting stuff, guys. All interesting stuff. But if you're the NFL, you want that to happen. Now, I'm not playing the whole maybe the game's rigged nonsense. I'm not doing that. But I am saying that If you're the NFL and that happens, you got to be smiling from ear to ear. Right now, the 49ers are kind of kneeling on the ball. They're going to drain the clock out, run the clock out here as they get their first win in the playoffs. They're showing the play by Dre Greenlaw, the linebacker that saved San Francisco from basically having them playing last week instead of this week. All by like a yard or a half a yard or so. I usually don't talk about this much on the show because Mack's not one to really talk about it. I don't know if he really watches it. But I saw a picture the other day. It was with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Lance Storm, and primetime Elix Skipper. They were all in WCW. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who's been a guy that's been pro. I mean, did he fumble the ball? Oh, they're saying he fumbled it. So Minnesota's going to get the ball back. I'm not the one. The reason why I brought that up because Hacksaw Jim Duggan has always been pro United States, but they turned him heel and he turned pro Canada. And then they had Lance Storm, who was the United States champion, had put the Canadian flag on front. And then Elix Skipper had, I think, the lightweight championship. He put the Canadian flags all over it. And the reason why I bring this up was because I felt that's what they should have done with Rusev when Rusev was all pro Russian during that whole nonsense with Trump and Vladimir Putin. And now, I'm like, dude, this is what they should have done when he won the United States championship. Be riddle the crap out of it, dude. Like, you gotta create some heat. But no, you get these WWE writers that suck. And the only reason why I bring this up is because 2 weeks ago I watched that wedding between Lana and Lashley, and it was absolutely stupid. First, a guy comes down the ring claiming that he still has love for Lana, so Bobby Lashley beat the straight piss out of this guy. Then some girl who's claimed to be Bobby Lashley's first wife comes down and Lana beat the piss out of her. And then before you know it, when you thought that Rusev was going to come out, here comes Liv Morgan trying to play the lesbian scene that she's always had a thing for Lana. What a horrible way to end that. That's terrible. Just more crappy WWE storylines, dude. It's why I'm just so clamping at the bit for Triple H to take over. But, like, at this point, why would he? Because, I mean, he's doing such a great job with NXT. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, bruh, this garbage, man. I didn't like that. I thought there was a better way they could have approached that. That was not the way. That was not the way to approach that. It was just nonsense. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way that finished out. Plain and simple. I didn't. I have watched a lot of NXT. I try to watch AEW, but man, it's tough to watch. AEW is tough to watch. It really is. It's tough to watch. You know. What am I doing? Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's tough to watch. Stuff's tough to watch. But pretty soon we might be having a wrestling show coming up here soon. So you might want to stay tuned for that one. Be out on alert for that one. Next week, Mack will be back. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, we will be at Rep's Place on January the 25th. 3200 Kirchhoff, Rep's Place. our monthly show at Reps. Looking forward to that, as always. It's always a fun time. Maybe this time when I go to Reps, I won't be so broke. I swear to God, dude, every time we go to Reps, it's the week I don't get paid, and I'm forever broke. So everyone's in there eating peanut butter jelly burgers, and I'm sitting there, no, I'm okay with the water. It'll be okay. Hell no, I'm not okay. I'm hungry as hell. This time I won't be so damn broke. Oh, what a pass. What a pass on 4th and 22, but the man's a yard short. So this game's over. So San Francisco's now beating Minnesota. This game's over. The game's over. The man was a full yard short. Man, what a play. Bing. He went backwards. He's a whole yard short. Game's over. Now San Francisco can celebrate. Look, Kyle Shanahan. That's what I want to talk about before we start to try and wrap up. That's what I wanted to talk about. I heard that there needs to be a new rule change as far as coaches, the coaching search in the NFL, because I almost damn near forgot that the Panthers hired the guy from Baylor. 7 years, $50 million. Word. And then the Giants went and got Joe Judge, the wide receivers coach from the New England Patriots. Word. Where if you would have waited like another 2-3 weeks, you could have just went ahead and got like a Greg Roman, who's doing wonders with Lamar Jackson down in Baltimore. But it sucks for Greg Roman because he's still under contract and his team is playing. The Giants can't talk, or the Panthers couldn't talk to a Greg Roman. That needs to change. You need to change the rule to where guys are able, everyone gets an equal playing field. So if we're playing with the Rudy rule the way we are, as much as I kind of don't like it, I still understand the meaning behind the rule. So if we do the Rooney rule, we got to do the same thing with that. You can't hire coaches until after the Super Bowl. Because now look at it. If Greg Roman really wanted to, get a head coaching job, he can now. Because the couple of head coaching vacancies that were out is over with. So you almost got to go 7-9 next year and not not go to the playoffs in order for you to get a job. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. So that needs to change. That needs to change big time. I don't know how I felt about that Carolina move. 7 years, $50 million. It's flipping insane. It's insanity. It's a lot of money for a guy that hasn't even coached in the NFL. But hey, you know what? More power to him, I guess. More power. My fault, y'all. I'm over here checking messages because I wasn't checking them while we were doing while you know I had the game on. But now that I got my phone is free, I can check all messages. Yeah, that needs to change. That really needs to change. Plus, the XFL is coming out soon. I think it starts in February. That ought to be interesting. They already got like these Rudy Poo dumbass rules where like my boy Sean Turner, I think, is watching. Sean, what's up, bro? You just missed it. I gave your Chiefs a lot of high praise. I say your Chiefs remind me of the 2006 Colts that beat the Bears. He told me to take my hat off. Never that. That's not happening, boss. Except the fact that I gave your Chiefs a lot of good high praise because I think the Houston Texans are crap. And you can go and everybody can go ahead and you can quote me all you want on that. Like, dude, if Houston somehow, by the miracle of God, because that's the only way it happens, that you beat the Chiefs tomorrow, you can go on my Facebook and say everything that you want to. I'm guaranteeing you it's not going to happen because the Houston Texans are overrated, man. They really are. Like, I cannot stress to you enough on how much that I think that Deshaun Watson is very overrated. Look at it like this. Deshaun Watson ain't that great when Will Fuller's not around. We did all this hype on DeAndre Hopkins, but they play better when Will Fuller's on there. But if you looked at the first half of the game against Buffalo last week, that's the Deshaun Watson I know. Not this guy that the Bears fans are crying up a storm that Ryan Pace didn't go out there and draft. It's not that good. Oh, Nick, look at the second half he had. Okay. The Bills made a lot of rookie mistakes for a team that a lot of these players have never been on the playoffs. They've never been in the playoffs. Never. Texans, best flag football team ever. Absolute facts. I just really think that they're just so overhyped. I think Deshaun Watson's overhyped. I think, DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a good wide receiver, but to try to give him a 99 rating on Madden? Please, that's nonsense. I thought that was beyond stupid. This team has no run game. Their offensive line still could be Swiss cheese at best. J.J. Watt picks and chooses when he finally wants to show up because he was looking like a shell of himself in that first half, and now all of a sudden just figured out the game in the second half. I just don't like the Texans. I don't. I think the Chiefs got them at the right time because I think the Chiefs, I'm telling you, they remind me so much of the 06 Colts because that defense, that Chiefs defense kind of in that first half of the season, especially with the Mahomes injury, it wasn't looking that good. Now, all of a sudden, their defense, they can stop anybody in their path. And when Houston beat Kansas City in Kansas City earlier this year, that was when the defense was still on the slip. Houston ain't seen this new, confident Kansas City Chiefs defense. I really don't blame Watson. I blame Bill O'Brien, horrible coach. Yeah, dude, I didn't understand that hiring either. Like, what did Bill O'Brien do in Penn State that you were like, yep, this is going to be our guy right here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce Bill O'Brien, new head coach of the Houston Texans. Clap, 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 clap. Sean says, son, saw you showing them pipes off. You better sing. Hey. I love doing karaoke, bro. I love doing karaoke. I adore doing karaoke. And it's so funny because there's kind of like this, I don't want to say status quo. That's not what I'm trying to think of. But there's like this thing when it comes to black people doing karaoke. And as a black man, I will tell you exactly what it is to the absolute T. What it is black people have a bad habit. Not all of them. But there is a good majority where we always go up to sing songs that once you start getting the words and stuff too, we really don't know. Like, for instance, I will tell you that one of the most drunk white girl songs, there are two drunk white girl songs that drunk white women will always sing in karaoke. And that's Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. And if it's a group of white women, it's Wannabe by the Spice Girls. Those are the two drunk white girl songs of karaoke history. Next time you go to, if you ever go to karaoke again, catch you a slew of drunk white women, and I can guarantee you that they're either going to sing Before He Cheats or Wannabe. And if they sing Before He Cheats, like Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood, it's like black women singing that Irreplaceable by Beyonce. They're in the same realm of songs. They really are. If you're gonna be real about it, okay? Because when white girls sing and drunk white girls sing Before He Cheats, bruh, they, as soon as they get to that, and I dug my key into, they be singing their hearts out like they've been down that road before. Well, I dug my key into the side of this really four-wheel drive. I mean, they know all the words to that. I'm like, damn, who hurt you, baby? Just like you ever seen that video where Beyonce was trying to sing Irreplaceable at her concert and the whole crowd sang the song so loud she didn't need to say nothing. Everything you own in the box to the left. This right here, please don't touch this. They were singing all the songs. They knew all the words, and they were so loud that she didn't have to sing the song. And that's what black women like to sing at karaoke too. But what kills me is I know most black women like singing some of them songs in the car. And you can know the song because like when the words come up, like, you know what to say and everything. But when it's just instrumental in words, they don't come together, and then they just start laughing, and then they don't even make it 3 minutes out of the song, and then it's over with. So then when I come up there and start singing, right, like they expect me to sing R&B or something. So I'll go up there and sing the song you saw on my Facebook, Ozzy Osbourne, Mama, I'm Coming Home. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. And one of the girls that works behind the bar at Adobe, where I usually sing karaoke, she was like, them white guys, they always think that you just be up there finna sing another song and you're not that great. She says 30 seconds into the song, they absolutely love you because they didn't think you know it. Touche. And I know she's right because every time I go walk back to my seat at the bar, they be, man, that was great. I didn't think you could do it. Oh, man, you did such a great job. Oh, man. As a matter of fact, I did so good one day on Ozzy Osbourne. Some guy approached me to wanted to sing Hunger Strike, the song by Temple of the Dog, Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. I told him, sure. And we rocked that song. Sean said, you crazy. I'm saying, dude, say I'm lying. Carrie Underwood's Before He Cheats is the same equivalent song for white girls as Irreplaceable by Beyonce is for the black women. When that song comes on, they in the fields. They are in the fields. And they know all the words. All of them. Like me personally, I don't think Mary J. Blige can sing. I've been on record of saying that. I do not think that Mary J. Blige can sing a lick. You want to know why Mary J. Blige is so successful, though? It's because she didn't went through some stuff that a lot of other women, especially black women, went through, and they can feel her pain. They don't listen to that record album to hear her sing or whatnot. They listen to her record albums because they know, because they went through it. And when you can sing songs that people, or you can write songs and sing songs and perform songs that people can relate to, you will make millions of dollars. I mean, it's facts. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Wait next time you ever go back to a karaoke. Anybody that's listening to the show, the next time you go back and watch karaoke, you do karaoke. I'm telling you. You'll be like, damn, Nick was right. This girl's kind of super drunk, but man, She's so singing the mess out of that Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood, though. Man. Oh, snap. Hey, so my guaranteed predictions to go wrong. Hold on. I'm having fun with y'all. I can't believe it's actually 6:30. That means I've been doing the show for damn near 2 hours. I can't flip and believe it's actually 2:30. But I mean 6:30. So here we go. Shout out to my friend Marie Ann, who I just made fun of because she decided one time when I knew her, she was a Ranger fan. All of a sudden, she's wearing Islander colors. So I told her basically, you downgraded. Hey man, you're much better than that. Don't downgrade. Okay, don't let these Islanders fool you. They're gonna be the same choke artists in the playoffs as they always have been. Don't let the game fool you. Shoot. Angeline says, I love Mary, but she was high back then. I'm saying. I'm telling you. I'm not trying to, I'm like I don't want people to think here. I don't want people to sit here and think like that I'm more or less. There's a couple songs that Mary J has done that I do like. Like I like that. Let's get a crunk up on the dancer. Because that's a real feel-good song. And Real Love is a good song. But when she started singing them songs, when she was going through it, I'm telling you, that's where she made the bread. That's where she made the money. Because I don't think she, like I said, I don't really think she can sing like that. But, you know, to each his own. I'm definitely not going to hate on her. You know, shoot. Mary J. Blige sitting there swimming in dough. Swimming in the bread. The whole reason I came on here is I wanted to pull up my score app. There we go. Guaranteed football picks to go wrong before any other game starts. So today we saw, oh yeah, hey Sean, I hate to break this to you, but we're gonna beat you. We're gonna beat the Blues in St. Louis tonight. Starts in 20 minutes. Just get ready for that. Other playoff game tonight. The Ravens are 9.5-point favorites against Tennessee. I'm gonna go ahead and go with I'm gonna go with Baltimore with the win, but I don't think they cover 9.5. I think that if Derrick Henry starts to get loose, I really think if Derrick Henry starts to get loose, it's gonna make fits for Baltimore. And I think they're going to ride that Derrick Henry train as far as they can before they have to make Ryan Tannehill the conductor again. But we'll see what happens. But I like Baltimore to win, but I think Tennessee covers the 9.5. Tomorrow's game, the Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites. You already know my feelings on that. I've said it now twice. I think Houston's overrated. I think Patrick Mahomes has a huge game. I think the Chiefs defense that has been red hot has really been playing well as of late. I think they come out here and they seal this one. So I like the Chiefs minus 9.5. And then Seattle versus Green Bay. This one's kind of tough because the question is what defense of Green Bay is going to show up. Sean said, you out your mind, my man David Perrin's about to go off. No, he ain't. If anyone's going to go off, it'll be Panarin tonight. Facts. And when we win, I'll make sure you the first person I hit up too when we do win. Ain't nobody worried about your Stanley Cup anymore. That's old news now, pimpin'. That's old news. You might be Stanley Cup champs, but you finna take this fresh L today. Fresh L's. And we got the king in net to give Shesterkin a little rest. Fresh L's. Sean says, bet. Yes, sir. You and Courtney, since both y'all Blues fans. But, I don't know, man. Seattle, Green Bay. I mean, if Green Bay's defense shows up, like the good Green Bay defense, I think they can win. But I just like that storyline with Seattle better. I'll take the Seahawks in the upset. So I got Ravens to win straight up, but I got the Titans covering the 9.5. And then I got the Chiefs minus the 10, basically 9.5, 10 points. And then I got Seattle plus the 4 in the upset. My guaranteed picks to go around for the rest of this. Heck yeah, man. Wow, dude, I'm really close to 2 hours. Really close to 2 hours. You know, I haven't talked basketball yet. Hey, by the way, can the NBA please stop putting the Knicks on TV? Please. Please. I'm begging you to please stop putting us on TV. It's too much to watch right now. Like, I could watch the Knicks lose on the Knicks channel because maybe there's not a lot of people watching, but I know on ESPN there's millions of people that's watching. Stop putting us on TV. Stop putting us on TV. And I love how I get the notifications like, oh, yeah, the Knicks are interested in maybe acquiring Andre Drummond. For who? Who? The Knicks are interested in trading maybe for Karl Anthony Towns. For who? You ain't going to get that number 1 draft pick. That could be LaMelo Ball or the James Wiseman kid that was at Memphis or some of these other cats. So for who? Shoot, the Knicks still need to go get a coach. I'm so happy that Becky Hammon wants the job. Excuse me. Cut it out. They make a comeback one day. I don't know, man. The Knicks are just so tough to watch right now, and it's like, dude. James Dolan still wants Masai Ujiri from Toronto, but you're gonna have to trade a draft pick to bring him. Why don't you just fire Steve Mills? You're gonna tell me there's no other executives that you could come in to fix this team? I mean, I feel like this is where I thought the Knicks dropped the ball. First off, they should have signed D'Angelo Russell to a big contract. First off, the Brooklyn Nets will forever rue the day that they ever got rid of D'Angelo Russell for Kyrie Irving. And you're starting to see why Boston didn't want anything to do with Kyrie after they lost in the playoffs. Because Kyrie is A, injury prone, and B, about Kyrie Irving. Uncle Drew is about Uncle Drew. And I'm going to tell you what. Kevin Durant has already proved that he cannot carry and lead a team on his back without other superstars on the team. He had his ultimate chance when Russell Westbrook went down with that knee injury and they blew that 3-1 lead on the Warriors. So could you imagine if Kevin Durant comes back 100% healthy next year and Kyrie is still hurt or still in his feelings or can't play for whatever reason and it's just a disrespectful POS? Like, how's that going to work out? It's not going to work out great because if you're Kevin Durant, you're just always going to be that guy that left OKC to join the team that you couldn't beat and win rings. And even though I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that per se, is that how you want your legacy? When am I on again? I'm not sure yet, Sean. I'll let you know. Maybe I'll do something in the middle of the week. Maybe I won't. I haven't decided yet. I'll know better after tomorrow. We'll see how I am after tomorrow. But I'm saying though, man, like, and it's so funny, like, you know what I hate? I also hate like all these useless interviews. Like I'll get a notification on my phone. Kawhi Leonard, news, Kawhi Leonard never really considered the Knicks. Who cares? We knew that he wasn't coming to New York, and we knew he almost wasn't going to stay in Toronto. It was either the LA Lakers or it was the LA Clippers. Those were really, I mean, the man went to San Diego State. The man played, wanted to go to Los Angeles. Think about it. Paul George damn near was a Laker before he decided to re-up with Oklahoma City. And then after that, Oklahoma City When Paul George went up to him and said, trade me, dude, it didn't take 20 minutes before he was on the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Clippers sold the house for him because they were on win now mode. It will be before the McGregor fight. I guarantee you that I'll be on before the McGregor fight. Because I don't know if you heard me, Sean, if you know my feelings about Conor McGregor, I still think he's the most overrated fighter in the UFC. And since we're bringing up the UFC, for the third week in a row, I'm calling out Randy the Natural Couture to a 3-round, 5-minute fight. I know that Randy Couture is probably at home resting, but I feel like he needs to lace up the boots one more time so he can catch this fresh ale. What did the young kids say? Catch this free smoke. I'm handing out free smoke all 2020. Starting with Randy Couture, the Natural, former UFC light heavyweight champion, former UFC heavyweight champion. I'm calling out Randy. Receive the smoke. Because you got the smoke coming, Randy. Randy Couture. Come see me, though. You talking to a former middle school wrestling champion at Jane Addams Middle School. And I carry that legacy with pride. And don't let this form fool you. It's some wrestling still left in this figure. So where you at, Randy? You can't hide for long. As a matter of fact, let me pull up my Twitter handle right now. Let me find out what my Twitter handle is. I'm finding out what my Twitter handle is. Hold on. I got my Twitter handle right here. Where's the bird at on this? Oh, here it is right here. My Twitter handle is Gran Oso Negro 14. Come see me. Hit me up on Twitter. Gran Oso Negro 14. Let me know you heard my challenge. Accept and receive the smoke. That's right. Handed out free smoke. But yeah, man, Conor's, I just don't buy it. I don't know if Cowboy Cerrone is going to beat him. I just don't buy the hype of Conor McGregor. That's facts. I'm trying to think like, I just sat here and talked about karaoke songs. Like, what are some like other karaoke songs where like a bunch of people are going to do? Like, okay, so I said that the white girl karaoke song is Before He Cheats. The black girl karaoke song can be Irreplaceable, something very Beyonce-ish, Mary J-ish. White guys, though, maybe Your Sex Is on Fire. Maybe. I can't think of another one. Same with black guys, because like we could be a hit or miss too. Like when I go up there, I like doing alternative and rock songs. Like my favorite go-to karaoke song is Can't Stop by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That is my go-to karaoke song. When I go out to New York in August, I got to hit up a karaoke bar. I went to one of them Japanese karaoke bars in Chinatown. Maybe it was Chinese, maybe it was Japanese. I think it was Japanese, even though it was Chinatown. I think. However, dude, that place was juking. And not only was that place juking, it was fun, but them little Japanese ladies behind the bar, well, they couldn't stop smiling. And I ain't gonna lie, they both was cuties too. Okay, I can't believe I'm finna say this. You know that there's a place over here in Villa Park called Crazy Pour. It's right off of Roosevelt in Villa Park. They always have a sign that says that they show the UFC fights. I've never been in there before because I've never had no reason to go in there. I did yesterday when I went to go do what is it called? A DoorDash order. Bro, it is so many fine girls working at that place. Oh my God. Like, I'm sitting there. I thought I was in a strip club. You know what? That's too strong. It was a lot of pretty girls up in there. Like, I was like the lady kept asking me all these questions. She's like, "Can you sign this receipt right here?" I said, "Huh?" "Oh yeah, no, I can sign the receipt." Man, it's a lot of pretty girls. So FYI, you want to go watch the UFC fight and find some pretty girl, that might be the place to go. That just might be the place to go. You know what? Next week at some point, I'll figure out what like the go-to men's karaoke song is. Cause like some men like doing "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys. So do I, kinda. I like that song. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. How long have I gone for? 2 hours and 8 minutes. I can't believe it's been 2 hours and 8 minutes. I can't believe that football game went as quick as it did. I'm shocked on that. But it's been a fun 2 hours though. Because I really don't have anything else, to be honest with you. I think that's it. That's all I got. I don't have a full slate of football games. You know, it's the playoffs. You know, the NHL is going into their All-Star game soon. The NBA, dude, tickets for the NBA All-Star game in Chicago, keep it. If I didn't win it, I'm not going. It's like damn near $2,000 to sit in a good seat at the United Center for an All-Star game. I'll take a pass. It's too much money. If I was like Bill Gates, baby. I'm not Bill Gates. Sorry, I don't have that Bill Gates money. So, but Mack will be back next week. Next week will be the NFC Championship game. The championship game weekend. More NBA, more NHL. We'll talk the McGregor-Cerrone fight. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. It's going to be a fun time. I had fun with you guys today. Thanks for keeping the young brother company. I appreciate every last one of y'all that support this show or support myself and Mack and anything that we do. I love all of y'all to death. I'll tell that to it's my dying day that I love y'all to death. Without you, I am not on here doing this show and doing all this nonsense that I'm doing. So I appreciate every last one of y'all. And it's 2020, and I'm trying to stay as positive as possible. And it's been hectic. I've taken a couple of L's so far, but you know what? I've learned from them, and everything's going to be okay. So, yeah, man. So until next Saturday, for Mack and Steve, I'm Black. I'll see you guys next week. Deuce.